Hello, thank you for joining me today. This video is called Welcome to HEB ISD, and it is the elementary video part 1 of this 3-part series. All of these videos are brought to you courtesy of the HEB ISD Family Engagement Department, and these videos are available in English, Arabic, French, and Spanish. I am the coordinator for our department, and we want you to know that everyone in our department is only a phone call or an email away. You can reach me at 817-399-2083 or at Kelly Rall, KELLYRALL at hebisd.edu. If you're watching this series, then you probably fit into one of 2 categories. Either you are a proud parent of a new pre-K or kindergarten student going to school for the first time in the United States, or for the first time in HEB ISD, and starting school, whether it's in a new country or in a new school district, can be a very traumatic or challenging experience. And we want to help alleviate and help you feel comfortable in HEB ISD. No matter what, we hope that this series helps you gain a better understanding of the HEB way of doing school. So we're here to help you understand how things work at school. Today we'll talk about why family engagement or parent involvement is so important. We'll look at both the district and the school calendar. We will look at how our schools are structured and who the important people are. We'll also talk a little bit about child nutrition and our Return to Learn plan, which addresses COVID-19. And then how you can communicate between your school and the parents. And then finally, we'll wrap up with a way that you can get some technical support if you need it. And we know that families with very young children tend to be more engaged than they tend to be when their children are in the upper grade levels. And this is true in elementary school. If you are a pre-K, kindergarten, first grade parent, and you are starting with good habits, being engaged in your child's education, I want to encourage you to continue making sure that you continue to be engaged throughout your child's education, because it is critical, imperative, very, very important that everybody be connected, the student, the parent, the teacher, the school, the community. All of these people need to work together so that your child can be successful, starting in pre-K and finishing up in 12th grade. So just so you know, there is lots and lots of evidence, research-based evidence that tells us why it is so important for family engagement, for families to be engaged in their child's education. And what we've learned is that children earn higher grades, they enroll in higher level programming, they're more likely to be promoted, passed, or earn the credit for their current grade level. They attend school more regularly, they have better social skills, they have better behavior skills, they like school better, and they tend to go on and graduate from high school to attend college, tech school, or even join the military. Now let's take a look at the school calendar, because not only is family engagement important, but school attendance is important. And so you need to know when your child should be in school. So this is our current 22-23 school year, and it is color coded. And so you'll see in the monthly calendars on the left and on the right that there are some colored squares. And each of those color squares corresponds to these blocks that are in the middle of the calendar. For example, all of the red squares are student and staff holidays. So you'll see in September, on September 5th, we had a school holiday. That was yesterday. So yes, that's one example of our school holidays. Now, notice that we have some longer holidays as well. So when you look in November, you see that this week is November 21st through the 25th. That is our Thanksgiving break. And that is a traditional American holiday. And we celebrate it, or we take that week off so that students and families can be together and think about the things that they are grateful for. In December, we have our winter break, and it starts at the end of school on December 16th, and it ends on Wednesday, January 4th. So students come back to school on Thursday, January 5th. Then notice in March, we have spring break. It is from the 13th through the 17th, and students come back to school on the 20th. All of the other holidays are a day here and there, but these three holidays are extended breaks. Now notice that the blue squares are days when our teachers and our staff have to work, but students stay home from school. So those are student holidays, but not staff holidays. And then notice that the green squares are for early release of all students. So that means that we have early dismissal on those green days. And so for elementary, school will dismiss at 11:50 instead of 3:05. Junior high will dismiss at 12:30, and high school will dismiss at 12:45. The purple squares indicate early release for high school only. So on those days, elementary and junior high students dismiss at their regular time. The brackets that you see here are the beginning and the ending of the 6 weeks reporting period. So when you look at, here's where we are right now. It is currently September 6th. So our 6 weeks began on the first day of school, August 10th, and this 6 weeks will end on September 16th. It's incredible to think that we have almost made it through the first 6 weeks of school this year. So just know that red squares are student and staff holidays, but blue squares are only student holidays. There's no school on those days. And the green and purple squares indicate early dismissal. Now, if you need to know if something is going on at your school, then you need to go to your school's website and look at their school calendar. Notice that there isn't anything going on right now at Arbor Creek Elementary for the month of September. It does mention that there's no school. There wasn't any school yesterday on September 5th. Now, October will likely look a lot busier than September did, but you'll have to look at your own school website and click on the calendar. All of our elementary schools are structured the same way. Everyone has a principal, an assistant principal, a counselor, and an attendance secretary. There are lots of other important people on our elementary campuses, but it's important for you to know that the principal is the school leader. They are the instructional leader, but the buck stops with the elementary principals. They are going to be visible every day on your child's campus. The assistant principals interact with students about discipline, attendance. They go to teacher conferences. There are many, many things that assistant principals do, but they are also the testing coordinator. So you will have some days on which we are doing district-wide or grade level-wide assessments, and the school will be closed to visitors on those days. But this information will be communicated with you ahead of time, and you will know exactly which day you're not allowed to go to the school as a visitor. The counselors are going to be the people who provide not only emotional support, but they help evaluate student records. And when students are experiencing difficulties, then they might also help determine whether or not the student needs to be in a special program. And so this could be anything from ESL classes to special education or GT, gifted and talented. So there are lots of different special programs available, and the counselor is going to be the person to help you locate them. They're also a good person to go visit with if you are experiencing personal difficulty in your family. And so if you need access to some community resources, be sure you touch base with your counselor because they will be able to help you. And then the attendance secretary is on this list because this is the person that you call when your child is going to be absent. So sometimes there is an attendance line, which is a special phone dedicated to for families to use when their child is going to be absent. You call that number and usually leave a message, although you might actually talk directly with the attendance secretary. If your child has a doctor's appointment or they're not feeling well, then you just say, my child is going to be absent on September 7th because they have a doctor's appointment. Or my child is absent today because they're feeling sick and I need to take them to the doctor. So that is very, very important. There are other important people, like the principal has a secretary, there's a school secretary, and then there are the attendance secretaries as well as the front office clerk. So there are lots of people in the front office. So that's the place that you go to first whenever you go into the campus. So in HEB, our schools are set up with elementary, having pre-K through 6th grade students. This is different than a lot of school districts in Texas. We're one of the last districts that have elementary school ending in 6th grade. And this is a great thing because it gives our 6th graders one more year to grow and mature before they go into junior high. Then in junior high, we have 7th through 9th grade. And this is a little different because traditionally 9th grade is the freshman year of high school. However, and our 9th graders are considered freshmen, but they are housed at the junior high school. So then in 10th grade, when your child is in 10th grade, they actually go to a high school campus and they stay there until they finish 12th grade and graduate. In elementary, our attendance hours are 7:50 to 3:05. The first bell rings at 7:40 and the late bell rings at 7:50. Your child needs to be in their seat and ready to learn at 7:50. Breakfast is served from 7:15 to 7:50. So if you need to drop your child off early before you go to work, that's fine. The cafeteria is open beginning at 7:15. On early release days, elementary students are released at 11:50. Junior high students are released at 12:30 and high school students are released at 12:45. We'll talk more about attendance in a little bit, but I do want to say that if you are picking your child up after school, no matter which day it is, make sure that you are there on time. Because although we do offer extended day academy, we don't have anyone available to supervise your child after school is out. So make sure that you are there to pick up your child on time. Attendance matters every day. Attendance at school is required by state law. And if your child is going to be absent, then you must notify the school. If you can send a note with the child the next day when they go back to school, or you can call the school and notify them ahead of time. You can also send an email to notify the school of your child's absence. It is important for you to give the reason for your child's absence. So if your child has a couple of doctor's appointments all set up on the same day, that will be an excused absence. And your child will be allowed to make up their work, and they'll have a little bit of extra time to do it once they return to school. However, if your family is going to Disneyland, and they're going to be out for vacation purposes, that is an unexcused absence. So just know that they will probably have to do some work before they leave in order to keep their grades up during an unexcused absence. So remember, there are excused absences for doctor's appointments, for court appointments, for illness, for a death in the family. But all of the other days, children are expected to be in school. And it's not okay to take your child out of school to go on vacation or to travel for other reasons. All students are expected to make up their own work. They are responsible for their own learning and therefore their own missed work. You also need to know that for students who are absent 4 or more days in a row, they will need a doctor's excuse for return if they've been ill. And that if your child is absent more than 10 days in a school year, then they will be considered truant and you will be hearing from a truant officer. Our schools are great. However, they make every effort to reach out to families so that families don't have to go to court. They're going to let you know when you're getting close to that 10-day mark, and they will try to offer suggestions for how you can get your child's attendance back on track without being reported to a truancy officer. If you need more information about that, you can go to the Student Code of Conduct and Handbook. Now let's talk a little bit about child nutrition. So it's very important for families to apply online, even if you don't plan on using free or reduced lunches. Maybe you want to pack your child's lunch every day, and that's just fine. However, for the last couple of years during COVID, cafeteria meals have been free for breakfast and lunch, but that is not true this year. And so it's very important that you apply for free or reduced lunches to see if you qualify. You can do that by going to this link right here, schoollunchapp.com, or if you need more information, you can call Child Nutrition at 817-399-2120, or you can email them childnutrition@hebisd.edu for more information. Again, very, very important that all of our schools, that all of our families apply for free and reduced lunches. If you're not sure whether or not you qualify, go ahead and apply. What's the worst that could happen? They would say you didn't qualify. Now, meal prices for adults are a la carte, and lunches are $4.25. So the USDA waiver for free meals expired on June 30th. So all students must have an application on file. This is an application for free and reduced lunches by September 21st, or be directly certified by the state to receive meal benefits. Those are free and reduced prices. As of September 22nd, students without an application on file will be charged full price for their meals. Our charge policy allows students to charge meals for 2 weeks before they are provided an alternate meal. Lunch consists of a cold cheese sandwich, unflavored milk, and toast, or unflavored toast and or unflavored milk for breakfast. So if your child does not have a free and reduced lunch application online and they don't have lunch money, then they're not going to go hungry, but they will be offered an alternate meal. Now let's talk about our return to learn plan. And this is where we discuss our COVID-19 regulations.